Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you can get the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, I'll talk about the Tamar Braxton Get Your Life short series. I watched every single episode and I'll let you know, I'm always honest about what I thought about it. It's all coming up next. To get this video started off, I want to explain that the visual of this will have offset visual, meaning I'm going to be off to the side just a little bit so I can incorporate short videos or photos off to the side just in case you haven't seen the series or to just give an idea of where I'm coming from. Okay, so let's start off. This was supposed to be a series that incorporated Tamar Braxton, her new boyfriend David, along with her parenting with Vince, her child, and also bringing in Goldie, who is a DreamWorks interpreter. She is supposed to interpret Tamar's dreams, and this is supposed to help her kind of have some clarity about what's going on in her life. When I saw the previews for it, I already had an idea of its need. It wasn't necessary. I saw that the focus of the show wasn't necessary. Immediately, I hate to use the word hate, but it's unfortunate that when I saw that Mona Scott's production had something to do with it, it already left a bad taste in my mouth. It already gave me this idea that we have this production that's taking advantage of somebody that clearly is emotionally fragile, dealing with a lot of things that are with her ex-husband and that marriage and her child, and trying to have this sort of direction of where am I going now? How is my career going? Before I even saw any of the footage, when they finally released what the show was going to be about, I already came to a conclusion. This is a production that is clearly not here for Tamar. Whatever your opinions are about Tamar personally or career wise, you can make an adult figuring that this process, this idea was a slow car wreck waiting to happen, that it was just this gumbo of things that just weren't right. And unfortunately, I was correct with looking at this series. Now, those of you who are subscribed to my channel know that I love to kind of put a cliff notes of certain shows that I'll recap and review, just so if you're a fan of those things, you know that you can come back to this channel and get an idea and kind of share your ideas and discuss everything about it. With this show, I was uncertain, but just like a lot of other shows, I have to be emotionally ready and emotionally tapped into the show to have some sort of connection to watch it. I don't just watch things because other people are watching them just to get clicks and views. If it's something I really, really want to watch and I'm interested in, I go for it and I say, hey, this is a show that I'm going to watch. Now, there are certain things that as time progresses, maybe it's something that, oh, I really didn't think I wanted to watch this, but let me give this a chance. I always incorporate that on this channel. So this was kind of like an underbelly show where I said, I don't know if I want to watch it because I think it has toxicity just all over it. So let me just watch it, take my notes, and then post. So this is one of those shows. One of the key notes about this series are the too many people involved. If this is supposed to be a show about healing, there are too many people around you that have nothing to do with your healing. If it's executive producers that are really your friends that are incorporated, okay, cool. You have your stylist, you have all of that, but you have Goldie and you have David. If David is your boyfriend, one thing that I found very interesting about this series is David expressed continuously about how private he was, about how he didn't understand how their family was just so incorporated with TV and attention, and bragged at most points that his family was very, very private. They weren't in agreement to where if I don't like this person, my whole family doesn't like this person. If I don't, it's very hypocritical, because the more times that he talked about how he wasn't involved with living his life publicly, the more we saw him, the more we sat down and watched his moments of expressing himself, how he felt about the entire process. If you're private, why are you being so involved? When it comes to production, you have to sign for consent, for your face to be shown, for your voice to be heard. And if those things are not agreed upon, you can sue a production because you did not agree to be seen or to be heard. That was a red flag right there. Now, I don't know David personally, but my thing is that if you really, really care for somebody and you don't feel that you agree with the process, do not be involved. Yes, you're her boyfriend, but as they say in the South, you just got to this party, okay? You don't know what's going on. You can have an idea about how she feels with her ex-husband and all this other stuff, but you really at this point, bruh, can't go around making demands about what should be this and what should be that. David, no matter what anybody says in this situation, is an opportunist. If you're not an opportunist, you're really painting yourself to be that way. You're very vocal on social media, very vocal in this show. You are very opinionated about the process, which is cool, because if I were with someone, I'm like, well, baby, I don't agree with this and I don't agree with that. And you might want to watch out with this, but it would be done privately. So the more he talked, the more it kind of slashed to the side about, okay, David, what do you really feel? And how do you really feel about this? And the way Tamar picks her boyfriends or loved ones, it's all a ripple, and it's all a cause and effect with the relationship that she has with her parents, that she has with her family. David could be a really awesome guy, but I think Tamar and David just don't gel together, because where they are mentally, it's this daddy sort of mentality, this unhealthy relationship of, are you my boyfriend or are you my father? This sort of, I want to be Superman, swoop down and save her and make her life better and protect her and love her and fix things. You can't have that mentality if someone is not willing to be happy with their own individuality. And I'm speaking of that from the outside looking in, because their relationship is up and down and up and down. And if he's a private person, all of those things will happen privately. And on this show, I'll get back to that, but let's move to the next person that sparks my interest, which is Goldie. Now, Goldie's job on the show and in real life is that she is someone that interprets dreams. And this is not anything new. We see that in the Bible, we have different people who interpret dreams or have their dreams interpreted. So no matter what your beliefs, no matter what you agree with, it's something that's been done for thousands and thousands of years. Somebody that's supposed to interpret your inner feelings, your inner thoughts, because they all come out in dreams. We all have dreams, and people sat down and they would talk about, well, these symbolisms and these things that are going on, these are the sorts of things that are manifesting and coming through your intuitions and in your dreams. So when David comes into the situation, he has this idea of what you're doing. Is it godly? Is it from God? And his beliefs are, if it's not coming from God, this can be some sort of witchcraft in a way. And he's entitled to his own opinion. But this is where it's just a cluster mess. Goldie, in my opinion, is an opportunist as well. If you're really involved with somebody's healing, you don't need to be with them everywhere where they go. Why are you with Tamar for concerts? Why are you with her when she's eating? Why are you with her when she's with her child? Whether you like him or not, why are you always wanting to be around her when she's with David? It was this obsession with Tamar and always wanting to be around her. It seemed really odd. Now, I really don't want to say it, but the first thing that she reminded me of was Reverend Henry Kane from the movie Poltergeist. Is it me or does Goldie look like Reverend Henry Kane from Poltergeist? She really just was, and she had the hat just like he did, and she had those teeth and that bone structure. It really threw me. It really threw me off.
Allow me to introduce myself, Henry Kane. And I'm your friend. And I know what you are thinking. Because I'm smart.
Why couldn't they have met in a meeting room at a hotel? Why couldn't they have met? Why was it always in the home? And not that I have anything against her career, but those interpretations seem to be common sense. And she said over and over again that these are the things that you told me, so this is what this dream meant. It's like common sense. When you're stressed, when you're going through a lot of things, you're going to have certain visions of things that come through in your dreams. And when she would interpret her dreams, I'm like, well, girl, I could have told you that. A lot of the stuff that Goldie mentioned, I could have Googled and went off of what other people have said about interpretations of dreams. And I'm gonna mention her name again, but I want to make sure I go down the list of people first. Before we go any further, but that is my idea of Goldie and her DreamWorks process. I'm going to get to Tamar in a minute, but I just wanted to just break down why this show is just a mess. Now let me get to Tamar. Tamar, my dear, my love, my sister. I honestly feel that there was an idea or an assumption to go into this journey and to have some sort of healing. But what I don't understand is how you open to working with Goldie, but not Iyanla. I'll tell you why. Because you know that Iyanla is really for real about that healing process. I feel that it was too much for you and your family to deal with at that time. Iyanla is a person who has that training to say this is the truth in your face. And she's never saw the healing process as an opportunity for ratings, because we've seen in her show several times before, if things are not going right, if you're not open, if it's toxic, if it's an environment that's not healthy, she'll say, literally do her hand like this, I'm done. And she'll do this. Oh, we're gonna stop this. She'll cut it off because she's not trying to hear that. When it comes to reality television, production itself, whether you want to believe it or not, could care less about your healing. They could care less, especially when it comes to Mona Scott, especially when it comes to a lot of the executive producing. Tamar, there's so much depth and hurt that you're taking along with you that you're not using your voice. When you did your concerts and all of that, your voice was just strained. You always sounded congested. It's just stress. What would have been a good idea was to have a show about healing, co-parenting with your ex-husband, getting closer with your son, getting closer with your family, and literally your present boyfriend being in the background. Him every now and then stating about your life and being compassionate and being that boyfriend. That would have been perfect. If you didn't want to deal with Iyanla, if you didn't want to deal with a real therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, someone to help you medicate your mind and understanding, not even really being through pills or anything like that. But when I say medicate, I mean help give you the tools that you need for healing. This entire show was a mess. It was a mess. I'm going to tell you why it was a mess. Because the executive producers and the productions and Mona Scott took advantage of your fragile situations and wanted to get ratings from it and wanted to take advantage of your delicate situations. And I'll give you a perfect example. Throughout the production of the show, okay, There were several moments where it was just too much pain and there was confusion, and the production show really weren't getting the shots that they needed. Another error was they got rid of what's called in theatrics and film production, it's that fourth wall, right? That fourth wall, and you not seeing the cameras. Us seeing the cameras all the time and the people around you was just a mess. We didn't need to see them. Opportunist. David is an opportunist. Goldie is an opportunist. Mona Scott and her production saw the opportunity to take advantage of a very emotionally fragile situation and people involved. Another thing that they just posted on the show, which I thought was very odd, it said April 29th, Tamar's niece Lauren died of accidental drug overdose at the age of 24. How critical is that? That's a lot. Your niece and the stuff with your family, and they just put it up there as if that's not affecting you, but they still want you to film. They still want you to sit with Goldie and interpret your dreams. What did it for me is when production couldn't get what they wanted, everything wasn't coming together, where Mona Scott had this moment of, well, let's just look at the footage so far. Let's just, that tone of acting like I'm concerned, but not really, I'm concerned for the production. And I thought it was really, really evil. And just tell me if it's just me, but I just saw the deception of Mona. And this is reality TV, and this is the world that she's comfortable with. She took her into this room to see the footage of what they have recorded so far with Tamar. And she showed the footage of Tracy's husband and David. And when they were sitting there, Tracy's husband mentioned that years ago, something that he mentioned about Tamar was that Tamar said to Tracy, will you just sign on the dotted line and you can still have a career and we'll support you and all of that. You don't even have to have that child. And Tamar, you could see the hurt immediately. Like, what? As if I can't believe that my sister's husband is bringing up something so painful to David or to somebody else in front of a whole lot of people. And Mona Scott had this very deceptive smile and look like, okay, we're getting a reaction. Yeah, that's what we want. And you could see Tamar suppress quickly by putting on lip gloss and saying, this is something that I said 25 years ago when I was like in the 9th or 10th grade. And Mona Scott says, well, it's something, it's your stuff, and it's something that, he mentioned, and maybe this is something that you and Tracy need to talk about. And she says, well, I gotta go because it's other stuff that I gotta work on, but you can keep looking at the footage. The deception and the evil behind the intent to get that reaction. And Mona Scott had this look like, we're getting a reaction. Yes, because that is the moment of, we didn't get what we wanted, but let's get some type of drama. The show was a mess. The show was this intent of not really wanting to help someone. My opinion is that Tamar really needs to just let television take a back seat. But she can't, because there is an addiction to attention. There is an addiction of doing what you know, and this is us going through the motion. Because Tamar was filming Braxton Family Values and this. So just thinking about it drains me. And it's draining to know that you constantly have cameras in your face. When are you having the opportunity to heal? You're not. And it's just this constant domino effect until this was a crescendo of stress, because unfortunately she had this suicidal moment. And family slowly started to learn about what happened to her, but there's still this anger with family and this frustration of things that they need to work on. You need to call Iyanla. You need to call either a psychologist, psychiatrist, because Tamar has this up and down emotion to where you start to think, do we need to start talking about, is there a possibility that you're bipolar? It's just so much, and the show didn't help anyone. The ratings were very low. the idea behind it was a mess because the intention for the show wasn't true, it wasn't honest, and it wasn't loving. You saw that Tamar was constantly exhausted. You saw her constantly drinking, saying, I need a drink, let me get a drink, I need, well, before we say that, I need a drink. We see the difference in her physical appearance. It's all depression. We see the depression, and there's this idea of people who are really her fans and loved ones. We want to see the bubbly and fun Tamar, but she can't blossom into that until she gets true healing. Shame on you, Mona. Shame on you for trying to push a narrative that you know that was deceptive, and you knew that honestly the underlining goal was to get drama. It's my opinion. Each episode was a wreck. Each episode was full of opportunists. And all of you who did not help, as Martin would say,
be gone.
Let me know what you thought about this video. I'm really interested in seeing your comments below, what you thought about the series. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree? Let me know. Until then, I'll see you guys this Saturday, okay, for the Iyanla Fix My Life. It's the premiere of the next season, and also I have some more shows coming up next. So subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss it, because we have finally, with all of the production shutdowns due to COVID, we are finally having more shows that are airing, okay, that I will be reviewing each week. So we got Iyanla coming up, and we got some more surprises that will be next week as well that I will recap and review. Until next time, I love you.